So I guess a lot of the conversations we've had is very, very big picture, and this fan base is having. And it's like, okay, you're watching the Oilers and the Panthers play. It's like, is this a team that's a few tweaks or free agent ads away from being in that level? Do you have to tear it down to the strips? Is there a healthy middle ground? And there might not be more of like an indicator of where this organization will go than with how you deal with Rasmus Anderson. Mm-hmm. What have the conversations been like? Because clearly on July 1, you can choose to extend him. He's got 1 year left on his deal. But you and Rasmus as parties have to be at least close on numbers. So what have the conversations been, and how do you sort of move forward? Because one path is keeping a veteran and the other is potentially moving him for younger assets.
Yeah. I mean, and that's the biggest thing. I mean, even when at the end of the season, kind of when he left, he wanted to just take a mental break, not talk about any of this. So now, over the last week, we've reached out to them and now we've started the dialogue. So it's the beginning of the process. We definitely have a term and number that we like, and they have a term and number they like. And that's where it kind of, it begins. But, that's part of the process. And it's, I think it'll kind of, I think when you're looking how this goes, it will determine, a little bit of what path we're going to go down, so it's never easy. And Rasmus has been unbelievable. I mean, the way he played with the broken leg and to do what he did, to try to get us in. I mean, he's been an ultimate team guy for us and we love him, but again, it's a business too, and it has to work for both sides. So, we'll continue to see where we're at with the two of us and move from there.
Would you want to have resolution ahead of the draft, or is it like, hey, look, we can go into the fall here and there's other drafts that theoretically, if there was a trade, you could move picks for? Like, it'd probably be best case to have it ahead of the 27th.
Yeah. The one thing I give Ras a lot of credit, he's just very honest, you know, and he just said, hey, if we can't come to a deal or we do come to a deal, like, I'm a Calgary Flame. Even if I come back next year and I don't have a deal, like, I'm here. I'm going to play hard. I'm going to do everything I can for the team. So if anything, he's been real open to beforehand, those conversations. Like I don't think he would be upset. I don't think there's a deadline for me. Oh, you don't get him signed, he has to go. Like, Rasmus isn't in that mindset. Rasmus knows he wants to have a great year next year because that helps his contract. Like we all do. Every time I went in a final year, you're thinking, oh, I want to have a big year here.
The more I look at him, the more I'm like, this is his one cut in free agency, if it happens.
Because he's 30, yeah.
And because he did that, longer, not really a bridge. Like, that second contract, it was a really good team-friendly deal for a long time. And it's like, if he's going to get a lot of term, whether that's 7 years from somebody else or 8 for you, like, he's now late 30s. Like, this is one chance to feel the market a bit.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's, if I was the player sitting the same thing, that's what I would be thinking.
Yeah.
We couldn't get a free agency till UFA until you're 31, 32 back in the day. So you knew that was going to be your one chance. You weren't going to hit it multiple times.
I don't want to get you in trouble, and I don't want you
I do.
To do. No, it's clipped and it's on the internet. But yeah, are you accepting calls on, because that's part of the job? You
know what your assets are worth.
One avenue is, well, let's see if we can get him signed. The other avenue is, well, what if there's a trade out there that makes sense, and if there's a team that loves this guy and it's a no-brainer for us and we have to pursue that. Mm-hmm. I can only expect that you've been having some conversations with teams. They will be calling. They know what's going on. Not are you fielding offers, but what's that activity like for you as you approach the draft or just approach July 1 in the summer?
Well, that's just part of the job. Yeah. You have to do that with every player. You really do, because you don't know what's going to come up, what someone's needs, how, hey, maybe there's a great fit. I never thought of it. The other guy did, and that's part of it. If there's a way, if someone just calls and says, hey, we would be willing to do X, Y, Z, and it's, that makes total sense for the next 10 years for our team, we would look at it. But it would not just Ras, it's everybody.
Have you been intrigued at anything at this point?
It's mostly draft stuff right now. And then, hey, what are you thinking? What are your needs? They're kind of, everyone's had their meetings and they're going through what is, I call, and what are you guys looking for? Are you looking for, what type of player is there? A defenseman, you need a goalie, you need a forward. Like those are the type conversations. So you're just kind of building out who might have interest in some of your players because of what they're looking for. And that's the way it starts a little bit. And then you'd have to call back and start piecing things together.
And I see why it's hard, because we get caught up in the day-to-day, and you think a 7-year deal is like, that's so long. That's a lifetime. And it is. But this is a guy who's 30. He cares about the crest on the front.
He loves it here.
You need to, need those guys. And he's a hell of a player. And he shot blocker and battles. He's exactly what you want. So to lose one of those guys, but that's also coveted by teams that you think maybe they feel like they're a step away. They're this close. They're a Rasmus away. How hungry are you to get this one piece that could push you over the top? It's a delicate balance. And I know for you love your players and you love these guys, and you went through it with Hanifin, and not everybody wants to be here. There were some of the guys you knew that the sooner we get them out, probably the better for everybody else in the room. It doesn't feel like that's the case here.
No, it isn't. I mean, and I have a great relationship with Rasmus.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the one thing. I mean, I remember the Tom Wilson stuff. Both of those two guys going. Yeah. I mean, he's got the stare after the. I mean,
got some moxie.
He does. He has that personality, and he's fun to be around, and I enjoy. He chirps me, I'll chirp him right back. So it's just, I'm like, how many games have you played, Rasmus? 1,009, buddy. Relax, Yeah. So we have a good relationship, but again, you're always trying to do what's right for the team, and you have to take calls, listen, and then there is a financial thing. I know everybody says the cap's going up, but it doesn't take much to spend the money.
Yeah.
If you ever dip into free agency, and it really, the money can go quickly, and you have young guys that are coming, you guys know who I'm talking about.
The goalie that needs to get paid soon.
And that's the thing. They go. It's not like the old days where you go your first contract, and there's kind of that bridge. Yeah. I'm looking back. I looked back thinking, I wish we had it where you have a good entry level, and then bam, you could nail it. Because that's the difference between then and now.
I will move on, but I just wonder, and it's kind of what Pinder said off the start, like with Rasmus, how this goes. If it's extension, I don't know that he walks for nothing. There's always a chance, I guess, of that. But if it's trade or extension, does this have any potential to be we're changing course now long term? If Rasmus comes back, it's like, well, the term's good and the dollars, we like that deal. Okay, we're signing him. And if we're signing him, then maybe we're going into free agency to add another one of these. We're going to try. We're tied for a playoff spot. Mm-hmm. Or if it's pretty clear the money and term is too much, and we've gotten a good trade offer. Well, maybe now we're more inclined to take other trade requests. Is it potentially a fork in the road based on how this one negotiation goes?
I don't think so. I mean, I think, I kind of said at the end of the year, when I spoke to everybody on the team, it was all pissed off that we couldn't believe you get 96 points, we didn't get in, and how we're going to be better. Each guy took it, said, hey, it's on me. I got to be a little better next year. If I'm just a little better, we're going to take that next step. So this is we talked about it being a good group. It is a good group. I think Matt Coronado kind of shows you, hey, I want to sign here long-term. I mean, we got some other guys to get done still, but I think it's more about this group believes, hey, we're the underdog still. No one's going to believe in us next year. We can move forward. So I don't think one leads the other, because our goal is always to continue to get better. Again, we have the plan. We're going to keep putting in young players. Yeah. We have to put in young players, and they have to become significant pieces, and we got to give them that support with the veterans. So, and hopefully with that, we're get in the playoffs. That's the goal every year for us. Get in, and then and let them get some experience.
Hey, buddies, thanks for watching. We appreciate it. Also, if you could throw in a like and subscribe, it does help us out with what it is we are doing. And check out more at flamesnation.ca.